had an idea for years, but I was scared it wouldn't work, so I kept saying it was for when I retire, knowing that I can keep pushing the date back. But that would also mean it definitely wasn't going to work now because I wasn't doing anything. So then I figured I'm just going to go in and start. Here's what happened when I did. To understand why I built the Open Day Collective, it's helpful to understand what little Amanda was obsessed with. And I use little Amanda on purpose because that's my family nickname for me. I know. They still call me that. Anyways, I was obsessed with stationery. And it wasn't the idea of just having pretty stationery. I had composition notebooks, anything where I can just journal what happened in my day. I learned I had so many thoughts, and I loved the idea of getting them all out of my head. Even now, I have so many things running around that I will still stumble over my words because it's just all going. But I loved the idea of having something tactile that I can put down in writing what happened, and then I can go back and remember it. I do that a lot. It was always something I can come back to that was mine. It was always something that I can rely on what I remember from the day, not what someone else tells me. And that's the start of knowing when I wanted to build something, it had to do with that. Because I think everyone should have the opportunity to remember in their own words what happened and write it down. And the idea of an open day really came from my push and pull relationship with working in corporate. I love getting to do what I do, but I'm not building anything for me. I'm building it for the company, and that's okay. But I also wanted to build something that reflects my values and reflects what I'd like to push forward. And so thinking about what I wanted to call this collective, I knew the days where I felt the most at ease or the most productive were days where I didn't have any meetings. And for me, and in corporate, you tend to call those open days because I have an open schedule. So building Open Day Collective just felt like the most natural response on putting everything together, putting the stationery that I loved, the concept of reclaiming your time, or even just making pockets of time for you, help me build out and really solidify why I wanted to build the Open Day Collective. Because I know I'm not the only one that has a crazy relationship with time. It moves so fast at times and sometimes so slow when you don't want to be somewhere. But either way, I want to feel like there are pockets of it that I got to control. So at this point, I had a name. I had scrap paper of notes everywhere on what I wanted to do. And then I needed to just figure out how to start. Because honestly, I had this idea for so long and I still never had the nerve. Why didn't I have the nerve to do it? And I'm realizing the reason I didn't have the nerve to start is because I didn't want to fail. This is something so much more than maybe not doing a project at work A+ or your best effort. This is something for me. This is something that represents what I want to put out in the world. I don't want that to fail. So I was so nervous. And then I realized it's not failing. No matter what, I'm learning. I get to grow with this. This is still something that reflects my values, and I have customers now, people who believe in this same idea. So this is helpful. It was just really terrifying to get over that hump. I'm so grateful I got over that, though. In trying to figure out why I didn't have the nerve, I really had to sit with that. And that was really difficult to be okay with. And I would let logic pause any trust I had in myself or any trust that I have in this idea, in the idea that people want more control over their time. They want to take more control of their time, even if it's in pockets, because realizing it's never going to be all or nothing, not for most of us, and that's okay, but at least take what you can. And I didn't have the nerve to take that jump. And unfortunately, I let logic delay me for a while. And here's what finally made me start. It wasn't a podcast. It wasn't a book, though I've listened to many and read a bunch to get me here. And it wasn't even my vision board that I do at the beginning of every year, where I have a highlight word of the year. This year's word, abundance. I really love that one. Last year's was growth, which I think is leading on a whole arc. Honestly, it was realizing this fear will always be here. I need to get over myself and just start. And it was so interesting that I had this conflict because I've played in such high-level games in softball, and I've been in such really important meetings with high-level people where I was terrified. And I couldn't just go, not going to play today, or not going to do this meeting. I never wanted to do that. And I still had the fear of failing, but I knew I had to do this even while afraid. And more times than not, I ended up going, that was better than I expected. Or I did it and I was proud of myself. So once I akined how I've lived other parts of my life, I really had to tell myself, you have to do the same for something like this, especially something you care so deeply about. So I knew I was going to have to start with the fear and jump right in. So here's what I thought would happen. Please forgive me up front. I'd launch. Everyone would find it immediately. My whole customer base. I'd be surprised, but really proud of myself, and the numbers would continue to grow. I'm going to be very clear. Obviously, that is not what happened. And that's okay, because I think if it did, I would have no idea why that happened. And then I wouldn't be able to repeat it. So, I will get into what actually happened. So here's what actually happened. I launched, and the numbers did move. Thankfully up, slowly. Some days they don't move at all, and that's okay. I am definitely not where I want to be, but every day I am getting a little bit better. I'm not flailing. I'm not running around trying to learn how to do little things. I'm creating systems. I'm creating processes. I have a schedule. Even though things don't move as quickly as I thought, or as quickly as I expected. I don't know why I expected it, but whatever. Here we are. They don't move that quickly, and that's okay, because every day I'm learning something new and how to adjust and how to make this more beneficial to you. And it's crazy that I thought that this would just blow up out of nowhere. I mean, when I started, I had the idea, I had the name, I had the brand, but I also had a ton of anxiety and no structure whatsoever. And now I know what I'm working on. I know how I want to get the information to you. I have more ideas than hours in the day, which is phenomenal. I'm learning as I'm building. More is coming back, and I'm realizing there's different ways to explain this. I'm finishing things faster than I was in the beginning. It's not taking me days to edit or figure out how to upload something. That's great. And I've gotten better at knowing what I need to finish and why. And I've also realized there's some things that are just keeping me busy, and there's some things that are actually moving the needle. And I've learned to prioritize things that help move the needle. So I am quietly getting 1% better every day with every project I do. And every week over and over, I'm learning that the math compounds. This is something that as long as I keep learning and I keep trying, I'll get better. And as I get better, this whole brand gets better. Now I'm learning where I need to pivot, how to get this out to you in a way that's still helpful and shows you the story so that you can tie yourself to it also. And back to my 1% better, really one of my values and how I live in everything I do. If I can get a little bit better each day or each time, that's a good thing. But I think we've been told that progress is a straight line up and the graph keeps going. It's not really how it works. Me, I'm learning real progress looks more like days I'm getting a little less confused. I'm understanding what I need to push. Decisions are happening a little bit quicker. I'm not spiraling for 3 days before making that decision. And all of these little things absolutely matter. And that progress isn't nothing. It's everything. It's making me be more confident in this brand, and it's growing with me. Absolutely, the doing will make you better at doing something. And there is no shortcut around it. So if you're in the part where you're still holding the pen, have 17 Post-its on your desk, or a note app full of notes, you're so much closer than you think. And if you're in the middle, slow, unglamorous stage where we're learning a lot, I'm here too. And I think this is where the real work happens, We get better every day on purpose. If you want to follow along, Open Day Collective is everywhere. Subscribe to this channel, click the bell to get notifications when new episodes come up. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, all at Open Day Collective. And there's a workbook in the shop if you're trying to figure out how to structure your days in a way where they can be more meaningful for you. You can find it at opendaycollective.com. I also have a newsletter that goes out every Sunday called The Open Day. You can sign up at the site. I'd love to send little encouraging messages about the brand, new products, the process, all of it.